everything will finally be back to normal. We did it!
Season 2 of Sonic Prime is finally upon us. With the success of the first season, the audience has been hyped to see where the story takes the Blue Blur and his friends next, and how the morality of these characters, both heroic and dark, continues to evolve. I'm Kyle with Wicked Binge, and this is Sonic Prime Season 2 characters Good to Evil.
I won't let them do more damage to my jungle.
But first, a couple things. We'll be focusing primarily on Season 2, and each version of a character will be treated as their own character. Oh, and also consider this your official spoiler warning. As usual, we'll be starting with our most noble and heroic character, and working our way down to the most evil. These characters are the Good. The gold medal of Good has to go to Sonic himself. He is the protagonist of the show after all. It's clear that he wants to fix the mess he made at the beginning of the show. Each time he goes to another world, he wants to help the situation there as well, which usually involves keeping a prism shard out of the hands of the Chaos Council.
Busted!
He's also shown to be willing to work with a lot of those people, which is especially apparent with 9. Despite Shadow's regular reluctance, Sonic lets him know that he for one trusts 9, and he even lets him handle the assembly of the Paradox Prism, even if their individual reasons for doing this turned out to be different, but we'll get to that. He doesn't always think before acting, but if there's one thing he's made apparent, any problem he causes, he immediately wants to fix. Our silver medal will be awarded to another hedgehog in the show, Shadow. We were happy to see that Shadow got a lot more to do this season. He was hyped up for Season 1, but didn't get much screen time. In Season 2, he does start off by fighting Sonic, but it's because he thinks he should be hunting down the shards instead of Sonic. He quickly realizes he needs to work with Sonic to do this though, and he lets Sonic go back through the other worlds without him.
I've tracked you as you've gone from gateway to gateway.
Despite being stuck in the void, he still helps out by slowing down the Chaos Council when they're traveling through. Near the end of the season, when he goes toe-to-toe with the Chaos Council directly, he sends Sonic off to protect the Prism, leaving him to fight Dr. Deep and Babel on his own. He still is often stranded, but he fights when able to. That being said, Shadow will be receiving the Envy Medal, since he tries to take Sonic's tech so he can go after the shards. When he still can't go through the world gateways, he sees that they only let Sonic through, leading him to get frustrated with Sonic and the situation. He still does the right thing, but not without any reluctance. Next, our Bronze Medal of Good has to go to the heroes of New York City, Renegade Nux, Rebel Rouge, and Denizen 1998. These guys are constantly putting themselves in dangerous situations for them, their city, and their fellow citizens' freedom. Especially with Nux and Rouge, they quickly adapt to the situation at hand, and continue to press on when possible. Whenever they see a civilian in trouble, they waste no time trying to rescue them. When Sonic is around, they're willing to go directly towards the Chaos Council fortress. Even when Sonic offers to continue forward on without them, they voluntarily continue to fight alongside him.
What do we got left to lose?
Denizen, New York's Big, doesn't appear much as the other two, but he still joins the fight when given the opportunity. Nux and Rouge also get a couple extra points for stopping Knuckles the Dread from attacking Sonic as he escapes. Another hero that isn't afraid to step into battle is Thorn Rose. This is an improvement for her from Season 1. In Season 2, she doesn't hesitate to jump into battle against the Chaos Council to protect the jungle, even if it means that she'll stand alone.
The time for hiding is over. We need to fight.
This is what she spends most of the time doing, but she also helps Sonic go back through the portal, making him promise he will come back at some point in the process. It definitely helps that she treats her bird well on top of that, even if she had it swallow the Prism Shard. Hopefully Season 3 sees her working together more with her Boss Gauge Maze friends, though a group that does stay together more is Knuckles the Dread's crew. This does not include Dread himself, but we'll get to him later. Once again, this crew is loyal to their captain and are willing to follow his orders in most cases. Thankfully, this is almost always a good thing. The only exception is when Dread convinces them that Sonic is a traitor, so they threaten to fight Sonic. This quickly changes, however, as they pursue their fight with the Chaos Council and try to get their Prism Shard back for their captain. This crew also has a new member, Rusty Rose.
Aye, she's loyal to her beloved council.
She starts with declaring loyalty to the Chaos Council, but after they abandon her, she joins the crew and fights right alongside them. She and Black Rose also get a special highlight. It starts off with Black Rose asking Rusty if she's okay. Soon after, as it's pointed out by Sonic, the two of them work together very well. Rusty and Black Rose could be a good example for the other Boss Gauge Maze variants. Thorn Rose had her own spot on our list, so this consists of Mangy, Gnarly, Prim, and Hangry. At no point are these guys bad, but they are much more hesitant to join join the fight. When Thorn Rose and Sonic ask them for help, they initially refuse. This goes especially for Prim. They even go as far as considering giving the Chaos Council the shards straight away, thinking they will be left alone afterwards. Thankfully, they do eventually come to their senses and fight for their jungle. So hopefully it stays that way. With our good section wrapped up, we now move into more neutral territory. These characters fall in the gray area, and we only have one entry in this category, though that may be fitting considering he usually wants to be alone. 9. For most of the season, we were thinking he would wind up on the good list. He spends a lot of time helping Sonic in some way and sabotaging the Chaos Council from within their fortress. It seemed like a done deal. However, the final moments of the season changed everything. When the Paradox Prism was almost all put back together, 9 realized that Sonic didn't have the same goal as he did. Sonic wanted to restore his world, while 9 wanted to create a new and perfect world. Once this became apparent, 9 got mad at Sonic and took the shard away through another portal. Not only does this put him in the gray area, but he also receives the Lust Medal for his actions. This moment expresses his deep desire to create a new world, which goes deep enough that he doesn't consider what anyone else may want or need. He just takes the shards and leaves, ending the season. We're sure that the third and final season will show the completed Paradox Prism again, so hopefully Sonic won't have to fight 9 to make that happen. Finally, we've reached the dark side. These characters are the bad and the evil. Taking our bronze medal of evil is the dreaded pirate captain, Knuckles the Dread. We were desperately hoping that after pursuing the treasure and neglecting his crew on 2 separate occasions in the first season, Dread would have bettered himself in season 2. Instead, he only got worse.
Sonic.
He did treat his crew like he normally would at first, but once his mind was on his beauty, that's all he could think about. He even takes it a couple steps further in this season. Firstly, he sends Sonic off to go get the shard, then lies to his crew by telling them that Sonic left them and is turned traitor, which they initially believe. Then, once he gets his hands on his beauty again, it's him who abandons his own crew, claiming that a captain needs to make sacrifices. When in New Yoke, Dread flip-flops between fighting with and against Sonic, depending on convenience with pursuing the shard. All of this awards him the Greed Medal, since he will throw everyone and everything on the side just to get his hand on his treasure. There is one more season left, so he can still redeem himself, but the regular Sonic isn't the only Sonic that Dread fights. He also comes face to face with our Silver Medal of Evil winner, Chaos Sonic. Basically, this is Sonic Prime's version of Metal Sonic, a robotic doppelganger of Sonic designed to beat him and never fail. Pretty much the entire time he is on screen, he's fighting Sonic and his allies, physically and verbally assaulting them every step of the way. His primary target is Sonic, but he doesn't hesitate to beat down anyone else that gets in his way.
2-on-1? Tisk, that's cheating.
At one point, he gets hit by a bus and is down temporarily. However, once he gets back up, he immediately goes after Sonic again. Upon one of their close struggles, Chaos Sonic tells the actual Sonic that once he's done with him, he will go right into destroying his friends. He does eventually get destroyed, but we wouldn't be surprised if the Chaos Council tries to rebuild him with some enhancements. On that note, our Gold Medal of Evil once again is going to the group, the Chaos Council. And was there ever really any doubt? They're the main antagonists of the series, and they're the ones responsible for most of the problems that happen in the show. From taking over an entire city, to forcing others to work for them, to invading and wrecking other worlds, these guys really don't have any positive qualities about them. They're on a quest to obtain as many shards as possible to obtain control over all worlds. For most of the season, they have 9 imprisoned and are forcing him to help them do that. Upon stopping in No Peace, they find Rusty Rose, but they choose to abandon her there. Upon facing more and more defeats at the hands of the heroes, they reach for more and more desperate measures. This includes creating more terror in New Yoke, aiming to expand their control across the world and beyond, and building Chaos Sonic is right up there with everything else. Being the main evils of the show, it's not likely they will redeem themselves at any point. Certain members of the Chaos Council also will be receiving the remainder of our Sinner medals. Starting off, the Council as a whole receives the Gluttony Medal. They are not happy with just what they already have under their control. They want to take control of the entire Shatterverse. When it comes to individual medals, Dr. Babel receives the Wrath Medal, while in the Boss Cage Maze, Babel gets knocked around once again. Upon this happening, he goes into as Dr. Don't puts it, full tantrum mode. Letting his anger get the better of him, he starts thrashing around and destroying anything in the way, including his own army. He's basically a big baby. Dr. Don't, on the other hand, is getting the Sloth Medal. I mean, it's practically in his name. Dr. Don't is often among the lazier of the council, preferring to sit back and play his games and whatnot. Then there's the battles in the season. Any other Chaos Council member that fights actually is on the field, either in a mech or a suit, and doing some legit combat themselves. Dr. Don't, however, fights remotely, keeping his distance and preferring to fight from a safe place. Finally, we get to Mr. Dr. Eggman, who will be receiving the Pride Medal. He's the unofficially self-appointed leader of the council, which is shown to bother the other members. He even explains why the others couldn't be the leader, such as saying how Dr. Dunnett is too old for it. He constantly is taking charge, sometimes even ordering the other members around or talking down to them. Additionally, when talking to Nine alone, he tries to have Nine give him some valuable information that would help them beat Sonic. In doing this, he insults the rest of the Chaos Council, saying things like how they lack the imagination that Nine has that would help them win.